Myself for an opening statement. Today, the Committee on Energy and Commerce is taking action on important legislation to improve the lives of the American people. This includes solutions to modernize our critical pipeline infrastructure, make important improvements to our air quality standards process, strengthen the health and well-being of patients and caregivers, and secure America's communications infrastructure from foreign adversaries like China. The breadth of solutions we're considering is just the latest example of the Energy and Commerce Committee working together to deliver real results for the American people. I applaud my colleagues on both sides of the aisle for their hard work on all of these bills. We will begin by considering legislation that will protect our communications infrastructure from the threats posed by the Chinese Communist Party and other foreign adversaries. China poses a serious threat to America's national security across the board, including to our critical communications infrastructure. We know that the CCP will utilize every tool at its disposal to exploit vulnerabilities in our communications networks, which is why this committee has taken decisive action in these areas. Failure to address these exceedingly complex threats not only jeopardizes our economic competitiveness and national security, but also risks ceding ground to an adversarial power intent on undermining American leadership. Today, we will continue to build on our efforts, this Congress, to make our communications networks safer and more resilient to attacks by our adversaries. Next, we will advance over a dozen bipartisan pieces of legislation that will strengthen the health and well-being of the American people. Many of these bills reauthorize important programs that are due to expire September 30. This committee is doing its job to renew them in advance of that deadline through regular order. I'm especially excited that we're considering my legislation to authorize the Include project at the National Institutes of Health. The Include project has already accomplished so much, and this bill will further help people with Down syndrome live their lives to the fullest potential and inform research efforts for all Americans affected by diseases like Alzheimer's and cancer. We will conclude the markup with important legislation to further advance America's energy infrastructure and economic and environmental leadership. To meet growing domestic and international energy demands, we must modernize and expand our pipeline infrastructure. The Pipeline Safety, Modernization, and Expansion Act, led by Chairman Duncan, will reduce energy prices for the American people, strengthen pipeline and LNG facility safety, and drive innovation in new technologies. It's an opportunity to lay the foundation for America's energy leadership for decades to come. We will also advance the Air Quality Standards Implementation Act of 2024, led by Subcommittee Chair Carter. This legislation ensures efficient, effective implementation of air quality standards for states that will ensure that measures to implement health protections are realistic and balanced in their approach. Protecting public health and our economy are not mutually exclusive goals. But to achieve this requires that we rethink how to address pollution levels that are outside our control. For decades, America has been the #1 place to do business while maintaining the best, highest air quality in the world. This legislation is essential to ensuring we continue that legacy for decades to come. Throughout the 118th Congress, this committee has led on solutions to make life better for the American people. We're doing the work the American people sent us to do. I'm proud of what we've done and what we continue to accomplish as we plow the hard ground necessary to legislate. Today, we will add to those accomplishments. Thank you to all the members and staff for their hard work and service. I look forward to advancing these bills to the full House. I now recognize the gentleman from New Jersey,